I'm not particularly big on patriotism, but I think what's more important is it's a nod to their culture. A way of saying, I respect you, I respect the way that you do things. I'm interested in how you guys see things, how you guys have developed your identity, you as an individual. I'm interested in what makes you and your culture so unique. How do you stand out and how do you separate yourselves from other cultures? Today we are going to be talking about adoption of culture. This is going to link into my series about immigration and immigrants in general. We should all have in common, and it's not just immigrants, it's ourselves, is adoption of culture. One thing that we should do is, if we move anywhere in the world, and this goes for every single country on the planet, is adoption of culture. We need to be open and accepting of that culture that we're moving to. Be interested in it. We need to learn some about it. We don't have to adopt the whole thing, especially if we don't believe in, particularly want to adhere to it. But I think it's a whole other kettle of fish if you decide to move somewhere. Right, no, I'm not going to be taking on any of the culture, any of the beliefs, any of the ways that they do things. I'm not going to listen. I'm not going to adopt any kind of way that they see things. You're being very rigid in your stance and your outlook. Now, I believe that every single culture on the planet has something to offer and something to give. Do you need to take all of that? No, you don't. Do you need to forsake your own culture, your own beliefs, your own religion, your own way of doing things? No, you don't. A lot of different cultures have a lot of things in common. In any culture that you move to, you're not going to be forsaking all of your beliefs, all of the ways that you do things. Religion is going to be a hot topic because obviously if you're very devout, you're not necessarily going to want to change your religion or change the way you do things in the religion, maybe. A lot of people may be different. Some people may be open to that, some people may not be open to that, and that's totally fine on either stance. So religion aside, the way that you do things over there, types of foods that you eat, beliefs that you adopt, people that you mingle with, the friends that you have, and even family that you have, I would say open up and be open to mixing, be open to that culture and the way that they do things. There's a spectrum to this. You don't have to go 100%. You can adopt bits, you can adopt parts. You know, there's a full range. So what I'm essentially saying to all of us, it doesn't matter what race or culture, creed you are, what your background is, your walk of life, it's be open to other cultures and their way of doing things. Whether you're in your own country or whether you're in theirs, be open to that. Because when you're rigid in your stance, it comes off very close-minded, and in some instances it can be very disrespectful. When you go over to a different culture, country, you will practice only your culture's beliefs, religions, ways of doing things over in that country, but again, you refuse to adopt any of that culture into your own. It can be very disrespectful. I'm not just talking about one particular group. One thing growing up that I always found disrespectful, so I'm an English person. Football is very, very popular over here. It's part of our culture anyways. A lot of people are very, very passionate about it. I prefer personally rugby, and just because I feel that it's a much more gentlemanly and honourable and respectful sport. One thing that I've always found distasteful growing up is when English people go abroad, let's say to Spain or somewhere, they're yelling in the streets like England and all these football chants, announcing themselves so loudly, rudely and disrespectfully. I don't like that, and I'm English. You know what I'm saying? I don't like that. Why? Because you're disregarding how things work there, people's feelings, emotions. You're disregarding their way of life. You're just coming over to their country, announcing your country, announcing yourself, announcing your distasteful attitude, and you're disrespecting everybody there. It's getting everyone's backs up just because you want to let loose and party. Well, you can let loose and party, but you can do that in a respectful way. And when I went abroad, I actually did. I've always maintained that if you go to a different country, this is whether you're on holiday or whether you're going to live there, whatever, you should always try and learn a bit of the language, learn a bit of that culture, a bit about the way that they do things, speak to the people. I don't like going on a holiday and staying in the holiday resort. I'm not saying anything about people that want to do that and stay in the holiday resort. But if you want to see the culture and experience the culture, you're not going to find it in the holiday resort, and it's as simple as that. So what I like to do when I go on holiday is I like to go outside of the resort, go to the towns, go to the surrounding areas, or even further out, chat to the people, experience the real culture, experience the real way of life. Do my best to learn parts of the language, bits of the language, experience the culture, food, everything, the dance, the music, everything. That's going out there to a different country, learning and experiencing the culture. And I think there is an air of respect that goes along with that. People can appreciate that because at least you're putting in the effort to learn the way that they do things and their ways of life and their beliefs. I'm not particularly big on patriotism, but I think what's more important is it's a nod to their culture, and it's a way of saying, I respect you, I respect the way that you do things. I'm interested in how you guys see things, how you guys have developed your identity, you as an individual. I'm interested in what makes you and your culture so unique. How do you stand out and how do you separate yourselves from other cultures and traditions? And I think that's very important because you're identifying and you're acknowledging their uniquism, how they see things. It's so important to do that. This goes for us all. Respect goes a long way. You're acknowledging people for the reasons that I stated before. And we don't do that when we're rigid in our own culture. It doesn't matter if you're English, British, it doesn't matter if you're Middle Eastern, from the States, Far East, Africa, wherever you're from, it's like, pay that respect, show that respect. And you do that by being open to adoption of at least some of these other cultures. Travel in the country, see these historical areas, see how, where they've come from, how they've evolved as a people, right? Be open-minded, be curious, and check all of this out and pay that respect. Speak to the actual locals themselves. Don't just go to a particular country with droves of your friends, your family, and just stay within droves of your friends, your family, and not speak to anyone else from that country. Like, why the frick are you there if that's what you're gonna do? It doesn't make sense. Go out and speak to different people from that culture. Go out and experience that culture. Go out and adopt some of that culture. And I don't care what religion, what background, what walk of life you are from, you can do some of that without it tainting or affecting your religion or what you believe. Because like I said before in the video, you'll find if you are well traveled, that a lot of different cultures have commonalities between them. So it doesn't necessarily mean if you adopt different parts or traits of different cultures that immediately is in opposition to your own and what you believe and your religion, etc., etc. And even outside of religion, because let me make very clear, there is only a small area that other cultures may affect with regards to your religion. The majority of what I'm talking about is going to fall outside of religion. When I'm talking about what you believe and things like that, it's how you see things, how you relate to the world, how you see people, how you see life, how you see their perspectives, etc., etc. There's a lot of that falls outside of religion. You don't necessarily need to feel threatened and affected. Some cultures, religion is absolutely everything to them. I get that too. Not every other culture and every other belief and every other thing that they do in that culture is in direct opposition to your religion. It's as simple as that. The fact that you're moving to that country, whichever place and space it may be, must indicate that the majority of it doesn't oppose your religious beliefs. Otherwise, why would you move there? It wouldn't make any sense. That reinforces my point about we should, no matter who we are, where we come from, adopt at least certain portions or at least explore different regions of that culture, the way that they do things, their history, who they are as a people. Go out and speak to them, go out and mingle with them, go out and mix with them, maybe even have family with them, etc., etc. That shows respect, and we don't have to go to every single length that I just mentioned there and more. It can be smaller portions, it can be larger portions. It's down to you as an individual, but do not be rigid with being open-minded and your culture. Please don't go over to different countries and be like, I plant my flag and my culture is all I'm going to practice or speak or hang around. Like the example that I gave earlier, despite being English myself, I freaking hate when Brits go over to different countries and do that. And this is not a video to just Brits or just English people. It's a video, like I said, to every single culture on the freaking planet. Doesn't matter where you're from. This applies to us all. Do not be rigid. Be open-minded and be open to learning. We can gain a lot. We can improve as people. We can be better by learning from and about others And this includes their culture, where they come from, their walks of life, etc, etc. Cool! That completes the video, guys. Love you all. Throw down in the comments and let me know your thoughts on this particular matter. I just thought I'd mention this because it includes everybody. Whether you're timid or lazy, uninterested, it's not a good premise to entertain that kind of practice, okay? So we need to be respectful, we need to be open-minded, and we need to adopt portions of other cultures, because like I say, every different culture has something to offer us, and we can be better people if we do so. So let's be better, let's practice that. Love you all. Throw down below and let me know what you're thinking, and I'll see you in the next video. Take it easy.